To challenge them is to court death.
Wonder what that guy's whole deal is. Hey everybody, welcome to I Love This Movie. I'm Cameron, and this week we're talking The Avengers. The first Avengers. Marvel's The Avengers came out May 4th, 2012. It blew away all box office opening weekend records that first weekend and became a huge cultural phenomenon. But I just want everyone to remember, at the time, it wasn't such a sure thing. Like, the first Iron Man and second Iron Man movies had been very successful, but Captain America, the first Avenger, the first Thor movie, and the Incredible Hulk movie definitely were not box office champions at the time.
Like Christmas, but with more me.
So this movie, it seems like it was a surefire hit, but back in the day, it didn't seem like that.
We need you to come in.
Are you kidding? I'm working.
The Avengers was written and directed by starring Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, Chris Hemsworth, Jeremy Renner, Mark Ruffalo, Scarlett Johansson, Samuel Jackson. I feel like I'm missing one.
Greatest covert security network, and you're gonna leave the fate of the human race to a handful of freaks.
I'm not leaving anything to anyone. We need a response team. These people may be isolated, unbalanced even.
The story follows our Avengers as they unite to fight against Loki.
Is there anything you can tell us about the Tesseract that we ought to know now?
You should have left it in the ocean.
I remember seeing this movie in theaters, and everyone was so fucking pumped. It was crazy. I remember us loading a big old... just absolutely losing their mind.
And they will. They'll come for you.
I have an army.
We have a Hulk.
To tell people, like, Thor, the first Captain America, the Incredible Hulk, like, these were not huge movies. This was not a sure thing, like, this would happen. And, you know, I grew up a huge comic book fan, Marvel fan, and me and my friends used to always wonder, like, it would be so cool if we saw the Avengers play out, and who would play Iron Man, and who would play... And we were just so into that. But if I could also just say something here. When I was a kid, all of these characters here were like B-list Marvel characters, okay? Like, when I was a kid, it was all about Spider-Man and the X-Men, okay? And so I feel that Iron Man, Captain America, Thor were definitely B-list, maybe even C-list characters. So it's just a testament to the power of these films that they have grown from C-list to the A-list of the A-list. The first 45 minutes of this movie kind of blow. I'm just gonna be honest. So we're gonna fast forward. I love seeing Tony and Pepper actually like together like a normal couple, because they don't get together until the end of the second one. I know it sounds stupid now. They don't get together to the end of the second one, so this was the first time we ever saw them as like a regular, normal couple in their huge penthouse.
No, all this came from that.
Give yourself some credit, please. Stark Tower is your baby. Give yourself 12% of the credit.
12%.
An argument can be made for 15.
I also really like this scene here of Iron Man flying to the bridge and back, because that sets up the geography of the battle later, where Tony will do this exact thing right here. So that's really good.
I know just vertical.
I love Steve Rogers here, just punching the shit out of this bag. What does he do all day? Like, where does he live? How does he have money? Does S.H.I.E.L.D. just, like, give him like, a stipend? Or what's going on there, you know? I like Coulson and Steve Rogers' relationship is so wholesome to me.
We made some modifications to the uniform. I had a little design input.
The uniform? Aren't the stars and stripes a little old-fashioned?
Everything that's happening, the things that are about to come to light, people might just need a little old-fashioned.
I like that somebody in this universe really likes Captain America, because Captain America is one of my favorite comic book characters of all time for sure. And if I'm going to be honest with you guys, back in the day, Chris Evans was definitely not like my, like, doesn't matter, but like my personal choice to play Captain America. He was known for playing, you know, Johnny Storm in the Suspect Fantastic Four films. I didn't know if he had it, you know, because I always thought that Captain America was a little bit older than Chris Hemsworth, especially at the time, or I'm sorry, Chris Evans at the time, but I love being wrong. That was one of those times I love being wrong.
You need men in these buildings. There are people inside and they're gonna be running right into the line of fire. You take them to the basement or through the subway. You keep them off the streets. I need a perimeter as far back as 39th.
Why the hell should I take orders from you? I need men in those buildings. Lead the people down and away from the streets. We're gonna set up a perimeter all the way down to 39th Street.
You gotta shout out the helicarrier. Definitely one of the coolest things from the comic. So glad it makes an appearance in this movie. But I love how in every scene that Mark Ruffalo is in, he talks about how much it sucks to be the Hulk.
Well, I don't every time get what I want. Is that the only word on me?
Only word I care about.
Really? They want me in a submerged, pressurized metal container?
Like, yeah, man, we get it. It sucks. I guess. I don't know. And so is this the same Hulk from The Incredible Hulk? Like, where's Liv Tyler? Why doesn't Liv Tyler ever come back for these movies? You know? What's up with that?
Dr. Banner. Now might be a really good time for you to get angry.
That's my secret, Captain. I'm always angry.
And I remember at the time, like at the end of Thor, he like destroys the Bifrost so he can't get back to Earth. And I was like, oh, I wonder how he's gonna get back to Earth in the Avengers. And then they're just like,
with the Bifrost gone, how much dark energy did the All-Father have to muster to conjure you here? Your precious Earth.
and I'm like, I guess, all right.
I've care how you speak. Loki is beyond reason, but he is of Asgard, and he is my brother.
He killed 80 people in 2 days.
He's adopted.
I like all of them together on the Quinjet here, all this character interaction. Yeah, I love all these actors together. And you can tell that they have a lot of chemistry together. You know, obviously everyone knows that.
No hard feelings, Point Break. You got a mean swing.
But I like this, like, what conspiracy is S.H.I.E.L.D. up to?
What if you recall us, and why now? Why not before? What isn't he telling us? I can't do the equation unless I have all the variables.
You think Fury's hiding something?
He's a spy.
Tony Stark is so up in arms about S.H.I.E.L.D. making weapons.
We gathered everything related to the Tesseract. This does not mean that we're making...
Nick. What were you lying?
Even though, like, let's say 2 years ago, he was actively making weapons and his company was selling them to terrorists. I think that's pretty rich that now he gets to lecture everybody else on morality.
You all fall before me.
Deploy!
Deploy!
But really, you know, this movie is, I think, pretty suspect until the last 45 minutes. But the last 45 minutes action sequence is everything I ever wanted in a comic book.
Right.
with you, I'm not sure if any of the other Avengers or other comic book movies have ever fully reached what the end of this first Avengers movie does.
Trying to keep them off the streets.
Well, they can't bank with a dam. Find a tight corner.
I will roger that.
This is like the most iconic fighting. You know, whenever we read comic books as a kid, it was always New York City, and it was always, you know, the Avengers, Spider-Man, Iron Man flying through these. So it's just so cool that that was a reality.
You ready for another bout?
What, you getting sleepy?
You know, it seems, you know, now that we have all the Avengers and this whole cinematic universe, it seems, you know, almost quaint, but, you know, I just like to shout out that it wasn't always like this. We didn't always have all the Avengers together in one movie. So.
Sir, we will lose power before we penetrate that shell.
Jarvis, you ever hear the tale of Jonah?
I wouldn't consider him a role model.
So, on this final scene, all of them working together, Tony going through the worm, the Hulk being angry the whole time. I mean, I remember seeing this in the theater and people were just losing their mind. I didn't hear what the Hulk said to Loki after he...
I am a god, you dull creature, and I will not be bullied by that.
Puny god.
Until like the third time I saw this movie, I couldn't hear what he said because people were cheering so loud, and it's so funny to look back on it now because it was, you know, at the time, you know, there was a new Spider-Man reboot coming out, you know, there was the Dark Knight, you know, 3 coming out, sort of a transitional period, you know, of the mid-thousands blockbuster until. Calling this period, we live in the Marvel Cinematic, you know, period of blockbuster filmmaking. You know, God, this scene is this whole like final scene is really awesome, and I love them all together, and I love in Endgame when they come back to New York and do this, because I really think this is the most iconic battle. And yeah, and I love Tony Stark goes through here, and I just remember laughing at the time thinking, you know, they would never kill Tony Stark. You know, not until he's in like whatever 7 more movies or whatever. But you know, this movie was, you know, a game changer for not only the movie industry, but you know, for me personally as well. You know, it's so cool to see all these characters finally on the screen for once. And yeah, I love this movie so much. So if you guys love it, comment, tell me what you love about it down below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Cameron. I'm going to be talking about another movie I like next week. Tune in, all right?